In this video, I'm going to show you a few different ways of measuring a powder charge and dispensing a powder charge. Before charging your cases with powder, you have to have load data. Every reloader should have at least one reloading manual. Other sources of information for load data can come from bullet manufacturers and also powder manufacturers. I'll link some in the description below. You're also going to need scales, preferably more than one, so you can verify your charge and make sure your other scale is calibrated correctly. Your bullet choice is going to determine your powder charge. In this case, for 223, we're going to use a Hornady 55 grain bullet, part number 2267B. Once you know what bullet you're going to load, you can reference your load manual to figure out your charge. In this case, for a 55 grain jacketed bullet, you can see for 223 Remington, there's over 25 types of powder that we can safely load with. I have a lot of H335 here, so that's what I'm going to use to load these with. You can see in the manual it tells you that the minimum charge is 23.0 grains and do not exceed 25.3. I've actually done a lot of testing with this load prior to this video, and it seems that my most accurate load I've ever gotten was at 23.1 grains, so that's what we're going to use. Anytime you're working with smokeless powder on your reloading bench, you only want to have one type of powder on your bench at any given time. You do not want to accidentally use the wrong powder or dump powder into the wrong container. This first method of measuring a powder charge is very simple. I have a beam scale set to 23.1 grains, and we're slowly going to add powder until we level off. So we're just going to scoop powder in until our scale levels off. This is definitely not the fastest way, but it works. What we're looking for is the scale to slowly start rising to the level mark. Got to be getting close. There we go. Okay, so we overshot. So instead of starting all over, let's just take it and empty a little bit out. And let's see where we're at now. Give the scale a second to balance out. And right there looks perfect. So that would be a charge. So now what we can do is take one of our primed cases from the previous video and using a powder funnel, add the charge. Make sure all the powder is gone, and you would repeat this process. Okay, next I'm going to show you a powder trickler on a digital scale. What we're going to do is just trickle powder, and you can see it'll slowly add powder. So what we're going to do to speed this up, since we know we're a long ways away from our desired charge, is just go ahead and just take a scoop, and we'll start off that way. You can see we're already at close to 12 grains now. So to get to 23.1, we're just going to spin it until we get there. Now when we get close to the desired charge, we're going to slow down so that the scale can catch up. Okay, so we're getting very close. So now I'm just making very small turns. And there we have it. There's our charge of 23.1. Next I'm going to show you a product by Lee called the Perfect Powder Measure. This is going to be the first powder dispenser that we use. This is a manual version, so there's no electronics involved. What you do is you just fill the hopper with your powder, and using this adjustment screw here, you tighten it to have it throw less of a charge, and you loosen it to have it throw more of a charge. So what you want to do before charging your cases is to verify that you're getting consistent and accurate throws out of any powder measure. So what we're going to do is zero the scale and throw a few charges and see if we're getting pretty close to the 23.1 grains that we're wanting to get. Okay, so let's take a primed case that we made in a previous video and see what kind of charge we get. Now I've already adjusted this in a prior loading session, so let's see if it held to where it was before. Look at that, 23.1 on the dot. So let's zero our scale and make sure that we can repeat this a few times. $23.1. This is why I like this. It's usually pretty accurate. And if you remember, our load range was 23.0 all the way up to 25.3. So this is good right here. You know, even if it was 23.2, 23.3 for plinking ammo, I am more than happy with that. But let's just see if we can get one to not be 23.1. All right, zero it out. $23.1. So just like that, I mean, this is extremely consistent. So let's dump our powder in our hopper, and now we know that we can use this to charge our cases. So all we'll do is, charge a case and put it back in our loading tray and move on to the next. So this is actually a very fast way of charging your cases once you get it dialed in. And that is the most important part, is to make sure that you're getting consistent, repeatable powder throws with it. Okay, next up I'm going to show you a product from RCBS called the Chargemaster Lite. Similar to the Lee product, this will dispense a designated powder charge for you, but the beauty of this is it's digital and you can just program it in. So, if you remember, we're doing 23.1 grains. So I'm going to hit 23.1 and hit the go button. You can see it's a little bit slower than the Lee powder thrower, but this is almost a guaranteed way to get exactly your powder charge every single time. Let's go ahead and charge a case over here. Now, there's two modes with this. Right now it's set in manual mode, meaning that I have to hit the go button in order for it to dispense a charge. If we wanted to, we can change mode to auto, and now every time we put this on the scale and it zeroes out, it will throw another charge. So let's test that out. $23.1. And you can see what I'm doing here, flipping the cases over. That way, if it's facing up, I know it has a charge in it. Now, since it's in auto mode, it should start dispensing automatically when it zeroes out. $23.1. I'm going to continue to charge these cases, and we'll move on in the next video to seating a bullet.